Good day. Welcome to Lamb's Horn. This is the PDT. My desire is to encourage and inspire men, especially C-men. I'm not a counselor, therapist, life coach, nor am I a financial advisor. But I hope that what I share will be received as a word of inspiration from a big brother, a loving cousin, a respectful uncle, and or a dear family friend. Like a virtual men's club. I hope that as we share with one another, we can uplift one another in what is that good, acceptable, and perfect will of the Father. For as we see more and more, if we don't fellowship, educate, encourage, defend, uplift, and support, that is, feed us, F.E.E.D.U.S, the corporation won't, the government won't, and the fems won't. Who will? No one else will. Men are expected to pull ourselves up by our own bootstraps. But that doesn't mean we can't lift each other. We are not crabs in a bucket, and we have to feed us before we can nourish others. They even allude to this with the emergency directions after boarding a plane, when you are instructed to put your mask on first before helping others. And even then, we can't make them eat or drink, but we hope they do. I can't make you receive, but I lovingly hope you do. Let them that have ears hear. Blessings unto you. Good day, my seamen or Christian brothers, and best of blessings to you. This is the PDT reaching out to you. And today, PDT could stand for past dating troubles, or it could stand for probably done tried, or it could stand for pretty darn tired. And either one of those may be how you're feeling right now if you're single and dating. But I'm here to hopefully give some or many of you some encouragement. I'm really glad to finally present this episode because it is my first, and it has taken a lot of work to get to the point of posting it on YouTube. If the books I read are true, then this is likely to be the worst podcast that I will ever do, and I don't doubt that. But I also took the advice to get started and to continually work on improving. So that's what I'm doing. I hope that as you listen, you find what I share valuable enough for you to give me time to improve and get better. But anyway, here I am, and this is the Lamb's Horn. Lamb's Horn stands for let all men believe, submit, hear our Redeemer now. Or maybe it's better to say, let all men believe, submit to, and hear our Redeemer now. You may hear an accent in my voice, and I admit that it is from the southern United States. I hope it isn't so thick that you can't understand me, but I'm going to go forward anyway, and we will likely discuss it in the future. I'm around 60 years old, and I've been married for almost 23 or around 23 years. I don't have any children, but I do have a couple of nieces, nephews, and young cousins, and that's just a little bit about me to give you some understanding of me and my background. Over the last few years, I've really come to appreciate a part of or parts of the internet, though there are friends, families, and others that are very negative about the internet and what they consider a lot of bad news. I find a part of it very refreshing, encouraging, and a validation for what I've lived most of my life, I guess. As a young religious male, I grew up in the South, and growing up in the
Thank God I'm a country boy.
South, I was not accepted positively by the majority of my female counterparts. In some cases, I was considered ugly. In others,
You show is ugly.
You ugly!
simply unattractive, and in others, simply uncool. And I may have been considered beta or undesirable, at least in today's vernacular. And yet there were times when I look back as I grew up that I found that I may have been more appealing than I would have directly been told. It's kind of strange to me because many times I felt lonely and very unattractive, and I more so felt like I was every girl's good friend. But at the same time, when I look back, there are relationships that I had, especially I guess when I got older, that I felt good about. I mean, good in the fact that the women that were interested in me, the young girls or ladies that were interested in me at the time, I thought were attractive. I had very positive ideas about them, and I felt good about the fact that they were interested in me me. So I don't know. Bit of a mixed review there, but I'm sure we'll get into it as time goes on. I don't know. Maybe it was just the fact that I found my tribe. I think that's the way they say it these days. Everybody has to go out and kind of find their acceptable tribe. But that was after a lot of growth, a lot of experiences, and a lot of rejection. And maybe even kissing a few frogs. Kissing a few frogs. Can I say that as a guy?
I mean, never kiss a frog. Yuck.
Well, anyway, I just did. Anyway, looking back on growing up as an unattractive, red-blooded American child, I can appreciate the internet because of the manosphere and the red pill.
You take the red pill.
Red pill knowledge that I've gleaned from it in the past few years. A lot of it with things that I thought might be true, or maybe it's more that I experienced the negative side of it and was told that what I was experiencing wasn't true. What I was experiencing wasn't true. But with the discovery of the manosphere and red pill knowledge, I have found validation. Woo-hoo. I've come to the point of saying to myself, you were not crazy. You were not idiotic. And what you saw was what you saw. And what you heard was what you heard. And what you saw and heard meant what you thought it meant.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah, boy, I wasn't crazy. I am thankful for people like Kevin Samuels, BGS, Rom Wills, MTR, The Average Man, some videos from Rebecca Lynn Pope, Ask an Older Man, the Filipino P. Yeah, I know, that's the Philippines. But I think she says some valuable things. And I'm very appreciative of Manosphere Highlights Daily. I'm sending shout outs to Please Act Right with Raul and Riva TV, Anthony Spade, and Medium Man, whom I should have had at the top of the list with BGS, along with Eze. Is it Eze? Easy? I think it's Eze. Reaction and Reviews, Shisha Zed, The Chow Time Pod, Sunshine Shoulders, Zoom to Thailand, that's right, Zoom Tribe, and Life Beyond the Sea. And I'm sure that's only a few. I'm sure there's some I've missed, but I'm really appreciative of those programs. But I have been very appreciative of them and the red pill knowledge they have shared. Now, that does not mean I agree with everything they have said, but it does mean that there's a whole lot of what they have shared and said that I've experienced, I've seen, I've been challenged by, and I have been rejected due to, and I've lived. At the same time, though I have experienced them and appreciate the red pill in many ways, and yet there are other ways that I don't agree, or at least I don't agree with what the results of the information should be. The suggestions or the ideas, directions that are given by some of these presenters. The knowledge I receive from them or the action that I put into place because of that knowledge would be and is very different from what some of these influencers have shared. And that brings me to why I began this channel. As I reviewed the red pill knowledge and many of the different suggestions that have been pushed, I realized that they don't quite agree with the principles that I try to live by. And I questioned whether I had other brothers out there that might feel the same way. One of the main and strong principles pushed may even lean more to the black pill side of things. Anyway, one of the major principles that's pushed is, and I quote, that it is crazy, idiotic, stupid for men to marry in this day and age, unquote. But I have a concern in regard to that. Okay, I can accept and even agree that many of the things that you say about women and their logic and their principles and their purpose, and because the principle is not to marry and instead have relationships, have rotations, have situationships, and these choices will protect one from the legal downfalls of divorce, entrapment, false paternity claims, and other negatives in our society right now, right? That's what its purpose is, right? But there's one problem I have with this. My desire is to please the Father, and at the same time, I am still a red-blooded male with the idea of having sex freely, randomly, and with anyone, even if it's only one other female. All right, try this again. But there's one problem I have with this. My desire is to please the Father, and at the same time, I am still a red-blooded male. The idea of having sex freely, randomly, and with anyone, even if it's only one other female, does not fall in line with my beliefs and will not please the Father. So, I'll dive into the subject later on, probably, of a subject titled something like "Don't Marry." Okay, but I want to please the Father. I'll probably do that in one of my next podcasts. But for now, please allow me to introduce the subject or idea, and I'll get back to it. As I said, I'm married, and I have been married for 23 so years. So I admit to being blessed to have possibly found that unicorn. And more about that later. But I was single at one time, and I was single for quite a while. And coming up, I struggled with the single culture. Not as bad as it is now. I will attest to that, but I feel for the single men today. Oh my God, what you guys have to deal with. But still, I felt and experienced many of the issues that you are dealing with today. As I said, I was not the favorite guy in the neighborhood. I was not the guy that the finest ladies, girls chased after. During my time, I was called all kinds of names. Very uncommon, unfavorable names, which I will not repeat right here and right now. I don't want to give you haters any ammunition. I'm sure you'll come up with enough things to say about me and to me on your own in the future. But I'll keep it moving. Anyway, I was called Mr. Good, Mr. You Trying to Be White. I was called nerd, uncool. The girls said I was quote unquote too nice. Too nice. Have you heard that one before? Somehow I think some of you have, but I was called too nice. I guess that's why I was everybody's good friend. Man, I was in the friend zone so much. My goodness, I could have created my own galaxy. The friend zone. Anyway, 30 years ago, they wouldn't say that I wasn't thug enough, but the same idea was there.
You're not black.
And I think a lot of that is like, you're not white enough or you're not black enough.
Not good enough. Oh, I'm so confused.
So, hearing what's going on and seeing what's happening in the dating culture, I can relate. And although I believe it's got much worse, my question becomes, is it this bad in the church environment today? Are men, Christian men, having the same struggle as what I'm reading and hearing about in the manosphere and in the secular environments? Can you all enlighten me? You single Christian men, is dating, courting, seeking a biblical wife as difficult and challenging in the church environment today? Are we talking about two different environments, or are they exactly the same? No need to even try and make a separation. Are they just the same environment with different rules that aren't being followed? You know what? Forget that. Are they just the same environment? Are you Christian single guys dealing with the same thing? Let me know. I'm curious. I'm interested. And I'm not assuming that just because I dealt with many of the same things when I was younger that they're going on now. As I said, I'm married. I'm not single anymore. I don't operate in that environment and I don't want to. So let me know. Now, to some degree, I question that they are the same, because I had a younger church friend, a friend of mine, say to me years ago that he was not dating women in the U.S. anymore, but that he was dating Latino women and traveling to other countries to meet them. And this was long before the passport bros movement started. So I've seen the trend growing for a number of years now, and I even made some comments about it myself years ago. But now it has reached such a level that women are complaining about it, though they established, promoted, and built it. Yeah, ladies, it's because of you that the passport bros was created. Besides, it's a choice other races have been making for centuries.
John, have you met Yoko, John?
But when the black brothers started doing it, oh, now it's a problem. Yeah, I know. I remember years ago, before I got married, seeing brothers on the street be embarrassed and cursed out and rejected and put down in public by a woman for some simple thing. And I saw brothers take that, and I swore then, not me, Lord. I ain't never gonna be involved with a woman like that. And though I didn't see it often, oh yeah, I saw it enough. Now in the church culture, I didn't see it being that blatant, at least, and as outrageous, and with as much arrogance as was performed on the street, but I did have my experiences with what I considered to be inappropriate and unfair judgment, especially for guys that were trying to be gentlemen, live right, and follow the Bible. Guys that were not always at the top of the selection list as well, but trying to please the Father too. So let's start with one of my experiences. Let me tell you about the young woman who attacked me at a church picnic during a volleyball game. Or you know what? Maybe I should save that for part 2. Yeah, I better save that. I think I'm going on about 15 minutes now, and I don't want to bore you guys. Anyway, if you wouldn't mind, please tune in to my part 2, and I'll tell you about it and more. Gotcha. Anyway, later. I hope you come back. This is the PDT signing off. I hope you received something thought-provoking and action-inspiring from what you've heard. Please select the subscribe button and leave a comment to activate the YouTube algorithm. I am a new channel trying to grow, and your actions will make the difference in whether that happens. Please subscribe and select the notification button so that you are notified of new content. With your influence, I hope to share something that motivates and encourages you and others. Thank you. Blessings.